Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Some Brothers podcast, where us brothers talk about books, movies, music, and more. I am Dylan, here with my brother Ryan, and normally we start out with, did anyone barf on anyone else's shoes? But last time we talked a lot about life updates, things going on, and today we have a main event planned that's special, so I think we'll get right into our recommendations. Have you been reading anything good lately you'd like to recommend?
No, I actually don't have anything to talk about as far as reading, watching, or listening, but I do have an additional recommendation section that I can get to if you have anything in those categories to talk about.
First. I got a couple things to recommend, and actually it's grouped thematically. What I mean by that is last time I happened to have a theme.
Yeah, your flat circle theme.
Yeah, time is a flat circle was my theme last time.
Time is key to that.
Yeah, it was about
a flat circle, not just geometry.
It wasn't about how the earth is actually flat. No, it was about time travel, things like that. My theme this time in a way is about nostalgia.
Another big thing we talked about last time.
Yeah, true. So this is similar. The first thing I want to talk about for reading is that this is kind of a life story too, because in my real life right now, I'm taking a class that's a Spanish language literature class. And so one thing that I read in this class is something called Viaje a la Habana, or Travel to Havana, Cuba. This is like a survey course of just literature that's it's actually called Introduction to the Study of Hispanic Literature. So we're going through different points in time and things related to Spanish language. And this one was written in 1844. So that's during the Romantic period. So nostalgia is a big theme to this one. And the writer of this is a woman who goes by the writing nickname La Condesa de Merlin. Luckily, she goes by a nickname because she has the most stereotypically long Spanish name you've ever heard. Because, that's a stereotype of Spanish names can be long, but also when you go back in time and they have different titles and all this, her real name is María de las Mercedes Beltrán Santa Cruz y Cárdenas Montalvo y O'Farrill.
Wow.
It's hard to say. The first time I saw it on the homework and I was reading that name, I thought it was a group of authors.
Yeah.
It was written by all these people. But it's just one woman. They call her La Condesa de Merlin, which is Condesa is like a count in English. Conde for a man, Condesa. So she was part of Cuban aristocracy, but then she actually moved to France, and she mostly became a writer in the French language, actually. But these cards that she wrote are about a trip she took back to her home country of Cuba in 1844. The reason I wanted to bring it up is it's a good piece of writing if anyone's interested in it, but also I found something kind of funny about it, the way that it uses nostalgia, and it's very romantic because it's like a travel diary written in different cards. And the first one's all talking about nature. Like she's on a sailboat, she's going back to Cuba, and she's talking about the ocean's beautiful, and then the sand is beautiful, and then she's personifying the dolphins are welcoming her boat. And it's so over-the-top romantic about nature. And then the second card is kind of more of the same. It's the nature's beautiful, but she's saying, thank you to Cuba, thank you to my homeland for welcoming us. And I'm yeah, okay, this is definitely very romantic. I get why they call it romanticism. Mm-hmm. But then out of nowhere, in the third card, she starts just talking trash about steamboats. And I just found it really funny how jarring it was in a tone shift. She starts out the card basically saying you guys already know how much I hate steamboats. Well, I'm going to talk about it again. So apparently she had a reputation at this time of talking trash about steamboats. But it fits into romanticism and nostalgia because what she's really talking about is like she loves the poetry of the sails on a sailboat, and she's romanticizing how it brings you closer to nature to take take the sailboat ride, because it would take her a week or more to get to Cuba during this time period. And so she really romanticizes the idea of man versus nature, and it's a serious piece, but I found it really funny how it was just like, oh, the nature's beautiful. Thank you, Cuba. You're so beautiful. And by the way, fuck steamboats. It just like totally changed the tone right there. So that was my reading recommendation. Did you want me to go into watching and listening before you get to your
just
thing,
go
right?
through watching and listening, and I'll round it out, and you'll find out why when I get there.
Yeah. Okay, well then, continuing on the theme of nostalgia, more like at the personal level for me, is that for watching, I finally got around to watching Inside Out 2.
Okay.
Because I mentioned before that Inside Out is my favorite Disney Pixar movie, one of my favorite movies. So I was a little worried to go watch Inside Out 2. I was afraid
the bar was so high.
Exactly. Yeah. Expectation thing. I was afraid they would ruin it. I know they added some emotions. I had heard they changed the casting too. Some of the voice actors are not the same for the second one. So they did recast Disgust, and who else? Oh, Fear was recast, behind the scenes drama. So I will say that the second one is good. I mean, it's hard to live up to the perfection of the first one that I had in my mind, but it was good. It did feel like it lost the plot a little bit. It seems like the characters kind of forgot the lessons they learned in the first one, and then like it doesn't seem as smart about the way it approaches emotions as the first one did, because this one's all about the main human character going through puberty, and it introduces some new emotions. And so I don't know, it's not as good as the first one, but I'll say it's still good enough. But to switch to a music recommendation, on a similar note, I had a high expectation for the new Motion City Soundtrack album that recently came out. Yeah, so Motion City Soundtrack's my favorite band, and their last album came out more than a decade ago, in 2015. And that was like their breakup album that didn't have the main lineup. I mentioned that album in our least favorite albums by our favorite artists episode. Yeah. So they ended on like kind of a sour note, and then they've been broken up for a decade. I was like excited for them to have a new album coming out, but just like with Inside Out, I was worried. I'm like, it might not be good. It might not be the same. But I really enjoyed it. This one exceeded my expectations, if anything. So the new Motion City Soundtrack album is called The Same Old Wasted Wonderful World, and I highly recommend it for Motion City Soundtrack fans. I mean, I would describe it as it seems new and familiar at the same time, because it's kind of like back to their roots. Like it seems like their old stuff in the energy, but it also doesn't seem like they're trying too hard to just kind of replicate the same thing. They do some new, different stuff on there. So I've been really enjoying listening to that album, kind of having it on repeat. And it also has some fun features on there. They have Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy is featured on a song. And then also the lead singer from the band Sincere Engineer is featured on a song. And it just made me think that's a cool thing that doesn't happen too often in rock music, is having like another featured artist. They're mostly like background vocals kind of in the mix, but I feel like that's something rock musicians should do more, and maybe even take even more from hip hop and let another rock musician have a whole verse or something.
Yeah, I have something on that I just saw recently that I don't know a whole lot about, other than I just heard about it. That is what you're talking about. John Bon Jovi, or Bon Jovi. I think it's released under Bon Jovi, the band. John Bon Jovi is his solo name or whatever. Yeah. But he's got a new album that is coming out. I think that I heard him do an interview on the Rich Eisen show podcast. It's a show, but I listened to it in podcast form. Rich Eisen of NFL Network fame, and he was talking about that new album, and it's like almost exclusively songs that feature somebody else in the songs. And I think he said something like the reason that he did it that way is he had like throat surgery in recent history, maybe a few years ago or something. I don't know when it was, but then he tried to record an album, and he just thought it wasn't up to his standards. I think he said that it didn't. After the surgery, it didn't quite meet the standards that he wanted. So then he decided to later kind of try it again, but then he just invited a bunch of people that he wanted to feature on it with him. So it's like every track almost is featuring somebody different. So that's kind of what you're talking about. So I don't know. That might be interesting to check out.
I should check that one out. That just reminded me that, probably the best rock group to do that is actually Santana has done a lot of those.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yep.
Because Santana's, great band musically, and they've done whole albums where it's like each song has a different featured singer on it.
Yeah
That's a cool thing. I'll have to check out the Bon Jovi one. But what's your recommendation for this one?
I wanted to add in something that certainly now that we've started this podcast and we talk more about music and stuff on here, the thing that gets the least time on as far as like a type of media on our channel or anything like that is now video games. It only gets relegated to like the background video for this podcast.
True.
And so I thought, I'd put a playing, what have I been playing lately thing on the end of this. I mean, I know that you don't play as much. I definitely don't play video games any kind of regularity anymore. It's kind of hard to find the time, especially we are watching and reading and listening to all this other stuff. There's so much media, and you become an adult and you work most of your life. Most of your waking time really is spent working, so there's only so much time left in the day. But I kind of tried to make a little bit of time for this because it is something that brings me joy, and I had a lot of fun at the bachelor party that we had, that we played some games at. And I have my collection of older video games, and so I was like, well, I don't need to play new games, so I thought maybe I'd add to this. Every once in a while I'll talk about what I might be playing, or I kind of sort of resumed at a slow pace, adding to my collection that I had not done for a while. I hadn't been purchasing new old games, new to my collection games. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. So what I've sort of been playing sparingly every once in a while here and there, what I started playing through is one that's some people might not think as old in terms of a classic game, but this game did release in 2011. So it is, now that we're here as of this podcast release in 2026, we're about 15 years away from that game.
Crazy.
Is Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Because, and I feel like it's blasphemous or whatever that I have not ever finished the main story of this game. Everybody loves Skyrim. Skyrim is like the one of the Elder Scrolls games that like more people have played. It was like ported to so many different consoles, and it was like such a big hit that it's one of those games that people are like, oh, when is Skyrim 2 coming out? And it's like, this is the 5th game in this series. What do you mean Skyrim 2? You know, it's Elder Scrolls 6 is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just never did. I mean, I was such a big fan of Elder Scrolls 3 and 4, Morrowind and Oblivion, that this game just kind of hit at a bad time for me. It hit while I was in the middle of college, and so I did buy it at that time, and I played it quite a bit. But when I play these games, I do a lot of going on all the side quests and kind of slowly eventually getting through to the main quest. So I just never did, and so now I kind of want to try to get through the main quest. I'm still playing it that way. I'm still playing the side quest type of thing a little bit, because I kind of like playing it that way. But yeah, so that's what I'm playing. But I mean, I don't think you played those games very much. That's kind of like not your thing, really.
No, I don't think
RPGs.
Those were really popular, though. Like you said, I remember everyone talking about those, playing those. But yeah, I don't think I got much farther than creating an interesting looking character in that part, and then wander around. I never got much into the storyline of it.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily play those games for the story. I don't think I could tell you much about what is going on in the story in those. I like the leveling up, you know, and the loot and stuff, you know, collecting better equipment and stuff like that. That's kind of what's fun to me. And then as far as like to highlight my most recent addition to my collection, I just purchased Shadow of the Colossus for PlayStation 2.
Oh, I remember that.
Do you remember that one at all?
I do.
Where you
fight
like
giants.
ride around on a horse and you like climb these big old colossuses.
Colossi?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I vaguely remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a really unique game at the time that seemed really advanced to be able to be climbing this big old monster thing that's like moving around and stuff, and you've got like grip strength and you're going to fall off and stuff like that. So again, not one that I consider like that generation of like GameCube, PS2 and original Xbox as like the last of what I would call classic from my perspective, our age range, I guess. And so that's like my cutoff, even though those still seem a little bit newer, and really like when I think of my golden age is the Super Nintendo N64 era. And then I would probably say that's after it, the Silver Age or whatever you might call it. And then anything after that, I don't really consider classic, although I think I'm starting to look back at some Xbox 360 games and go like, oh yeah, I mean, they're becoming nostalgic. But I mean, the Xbox 360 came out in 2004, 2005 or something. That's a long time ago, you know, when it released. It had a long life. I mean, I want to say the Xbox One was like 2013 or 2014 or something like that. So I feel like the Xbox 360 had almost a 10-year lifespan. So that's pretty long. But maybe not quite old enough to be classic for me to really start collecting some of those games quite yet. But
interesting.
I'll get there.
I agree with that, and that's good for being on theme. Our theme today is definitely nostalgia. But also connecting to our last episode, today's theme is more like time is not a flat circle. It's a linear straight line where it keeps going forward, and more things will become nostalgic. Yeah. And somewhat speaking of nostalgia, you want to get into our main event, which
let's get into it.
This dates back to one of our favorite movie franchises that dates back to at least the 1960s, right? So there's some
as far as the movies,
and the books even older. It's a
movies
series
that we're talking about
of books by Ian Fleming. Created the character of James Bond or Agent 007, and with our adaptation station theme, these books have been adapted into, as of filming this, 25 different movies, with the end of the Daniel Craig era being the 25th movie.
Yeah, and so that's 25 Eon films, right?
Yes, not including how many are there that are not technically. There's the you only live twice. That's
Never
one of
Say
them, right?
Never Again.
Oh,
Never Say Never Again is the one I think that doesn't really count, and then also the original Casino Royale.
Oh yeah.
There was a Casino Royale movie that doesn't count in what we're doing.
Yeah, so what we're going to do with only the Eon James Bond films is we're going to do a draft
Yep.
of the top 7 007 films.
Yeah. And so what I thought that this format becomes, as far as what to think of as our draft and how to like judge it when we get to the end, is each of us, like it being a draft, if one of us drafts one of these movies, the other person can't take that movie. And what we're trying to build is our James Bond movie marathon. So at the end, we'll say, whoever's listening, tell us whose movie marathon would you like to attend?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. So by the end of this, we'll each have a separate list of 7 James Bond movies, 0 overlap. They have to all be different movies. Think of them as like, if you had to sit down and watch all these movies, which one's going to be more fun or a better experience for the viewer?
Yeah.
And we haven't decided who goes first. We're going to do a coin flip, yes?
Then, we were going to flip a coin. We're going to flip this coin on Google here. And if I'm going to press flip, I'll have you call it, I guess. Call it whenever. You can't see this flip.
Yeah, I can't see what you're doing, and I'll trust you, and I'm going to call tails.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I'm flipping.
I called tails.
It's heads.
Okay. You get to go first.
I get to go first. I was worried about this because the first pick is going to be each of our favorite James Bond movie, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think there's overlap. I think your James Bond favorite movie is different than mine, but I was a little bit worried about it. So with my first pick, I am choosing GoldenEye.
I knew it. I knew you would pick GoldenEye first. Was
that your first?
No, because you're right. We do have different favorites. I was going back and forth in my head where I was like, if I get to go first, I might want to steal GoldenEye from you because because I knew you would pick it first, and it's a great one. I mean, that's like my number 2. I planned on taking it number 2 because I did want to take my favorite. If I stole GoldenEye, maybe you would have been vindictful. Vindictful? Is that the right word? Vindictive?
Yeah.
Maybe you would have wanted to steal my favorite, which is Skyfall. So I'm taking Skyfall.
Okay. No, actually, that's okay for me if you're taking Skyfall. My number 2 pick is a different Daniel Craig. I'm going to take Casino Royale.
Good one. Yeah. His first one. The first of the Daniel Craigs.
Yeah, and kind of now that we get out of the beginning part, I become less worried that we overlap on the ones that become very important to us,
Yeah. That one I had a few spaces down, actually, but I do love Casino Royale. Great parkour action scenes, great storyline.
Yeah.
But no, my number 2, it will be, my next pick is going to be Octopussy.
Okay. I knew that one was high on your list. I know you like that one. I thought maybe that was your number 1 if I tried to pick one. I didn't really think about Skyfall. That one is a lot of people's favorite, I think. I think that movie was very well received,
Yeah, Skyfall was like, I loved that one because I was already a very well established James Bond fan by that time. I liked the Daniel Craig ones, and then the villain, Javier Bardem, is the villain, and then the basically Home Alone house out there in his original house. I'm like, yeah, that one's just perfect. But back in the day when we watched the older ones through, I was a big fan of Roger Moore, and Octopussy is just a ridiculous one. I love how kind of wacky that one is with they're going after the Fabergé egg. He wears a clown costume in that one, James Bond.
Yeah.
There's like the knife throwing twins of the circus. That one is just like, it really leans into the wackiness of James Bond that I love. But what about you? What's your number 3 pick?
My number 3 that I'm going with actually is The Living Daylights.
Oh.
And this is something that happened over time. I don't think when I was younger I really liked the Timothy Dalton ones as much. There were only the 2 of them. But like watching them later, it's like those are good James Bond movies, and The Living Daylights is kind of actually one of my favorites, kind of to rewatch. So that's why that one makes my list.
Yeah, I like that one. I definitely had that one later on my list. That's the one where he has the knife shoes, right? Isn't that one, or is that his other one?
I don't. Honestly, I don't remember specifically. I mean, honestly, I need to get my James Bond collection back from you, because I've been wanting to watch a lot of them, because there's a lot of them I haven't watched in a long time to remember like real specifics from some of them.
Yeah, it's one of his too, but yeah, his are good, the Timothy Dalton ones. Okay, well, my number 3 is going to be another Roger Moore one, Live and Let Die.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That one.
That's definitely a classic, and a classic intro.
Yeah, the Wings, right? Paul McCartney and Wings theme song.
Yeah.
This is one I haven't rewatched in a while. I've heard this one maybe hasn't aged so well in terms of the political plot of it, but just in my basically childhood memory of it, it's another kind of wacky one. The villains in it are, kind of interesting.
Yeah. All right. My number 4 that I'm going to go with here is, I think I have to take this one, and it is The World Is Not Enough.
Oh, that was my next one.
Oh, wow. I knew I had to take it somewhere in there, because this one, I think for both of us probably, is like, this is the James Bond movie that released while, like, after we became James Bond fans.
Yeah.
Like, we had watched the James Bond movies up into it, and this is the first one that came out, and, we could watch it as a new movie that came out. And so that's why it's on the list. In the realm of all the movies that are the best, I don't think a lot of people think that this one is, but in the theme of nostalgia, this one has to go on there,
And, yeah, I have to say, nostalgia aside, the villain is very compelling in that one. The guy who has the bullet lodged in his brain. So he
can't feel pain or whatever.
Yeah, he can't feel pain. He doesn't feel empathy, but also he's slowly dying. So he knows he has a limited amount of time left. Great villain.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm a little bit sad. You stole that one. That was literally going to be my next pick. So my number 4 now has to be The Man with the Golden Gun.
And that was my next pick now.
Was it?
So we've each stolen one from each other right away.
That's good.
Yeah.
Got you back. Another good theme song. I like the catchy theme song.
Yeah.
But also the Golden Gun as a weapon. I mean, that's iconic in 007 lore now. So that's a great movie.
Yeah. Well, I guess since you took that one for my number 5, I'm going to have to pick a different Roger Moore, because that was going to be my Roger Moore pick, and so I'm going to pick The Spy Who Loved Me.
Okay.
And that one kind of I think of that as like a, classic Roger Moore. I mean, you've picked 2 good Roger Moore ones in there, and I think The Spy Who Loved Me, 007 cinephiles tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first appearance of Jaws.
Before Moonraker later, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's an iconic villain to have, so that's why I chose this one.
Yeah, good choice. I was scared you were going to steal my next one, but you didn't. My next one is another Pierce Brosnan one. Since I didn't get The World Is Not Enough, I'm going to have to take Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, that one's on my list for sure.
Yeah, I like the World Is Not Enough, the plot and the villain more, but I like Tomorrow Never Dies for Michelle Yeoh. Chinese actor Michelle Yeoh is in it as like not just a Bond lady, but an action star in her own right. So that one's pretty cool.
Cool. So number 6, 2 more picks I have, and I think there's probably a lot of James Bond fans that are probably upset at this point that neither of us have chosen a Sean Connery movie.
I know. I was
right?
just thinking that too.
So I am going to have to. I mean, I don't have to. It is here. This is here on my list. I'm gonna choose Goldfinger.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah,
Goldfinger.
just
That was the first Sean Connery I had on my list too. So you took that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, what have I done? I had just gotten my first Pierce Brosnan. I hadn't done a Pierce Brosnan one yet.
Well, because I had taken 2.
Yeah, you took 2.
Yeah.
The 2 top ones that I was gonna take. I still have 2 more spots. I'm on my number 6 now, so
Yeah.
I'm still not gonna do a Sean Connery yet because, well, you took that one that I was gonna do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I do actually want to take No Time to Die.
Okay. Yeah. I have that on my list as well.
The last Daniel Craig one, I really enjoyed this one. I just really like the Daniel Craig ones in general. I like the rendition of his American friend Felix Leiter in the Daniel Craig ones.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was just a really entertaining movie all around. So that's my number 6. Now you have one more spot. What's going to round out your
Yeah, I have one more spot, and there's a lot in here that in this range that have already been taken. This is in the range where I would pick The Man with the Golden Gun, Skyfall, Tomorrow Never Dies, No Time to Die. Like, you already picked all these ones. This is about where I would put these. So I have a few that I'm picking between, and I think I'm gonna go with another Sean Connery here, and hopefully I don't take your other Sean Connery pick. I'm gonna pick You Only Live Twice.
Oh, okay.
Because I kind of want to have a little more variation in time here. I almost picked License to Kill as the last one because I also like that one. And then I have both Timothy Dalton's, and also in this thing I would have those ones in order. I'd have Living Daylights, License to Kill, and GoldenEye, you know, like all in order. And then it's almost all in order because then it's Tomorrow Never Dies, and then I have World Is Not Enough, and then Casino Royale is only one movie skipped after that, you know.
Yeah.
So I have a lot from that era. So let's give another older one in here to kind of like round this thing out.
That's fair. So You Only Live Twice in there, and I'm kind of going to have to follow your lead on that one because I'm trying to think of this as a movie marathon, so I wanted to get, I don't know, a little more diversity of eras and actors in there because, I mean, there's so many Roger Moore ones. You know, part of me wants to put Moonraker as kind of a ridiculous one, you know, other Jaws one, Space and all that.
Yeah.
I also like A View to a Kill as a Roger Moore one. And I could steal the other Timothy Dalton one, but I still don't have a Sean Connery yet. So I'm going to, with my last place, do the first James Bond movie, Dr. No.
Nice.
It just makes sense to go back to the origin, watch the first ever one, and I liked this one on the island, and it just sets up the story pretty well. Okay, so those are our lists. We each have our 007 movie marathon.
Yeah.
Let me just review the list so the listeners at home can listen to these 2 movie marathons. Let us know in the comments which one is better. Which would you rather watch? Ryan's James Bond movie marathon is GoldenEye, Casino Royale, The Living Daylights, The World Is Not Enough, The Spy Who Loved Me, Goldfinger, and You Only Live Twice. Solid list, I must say.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, really good. And then my movie marathon is Skyfall, Octopussy, Live and Let Die, The Man with the Golden Gun, Tomorrow Never Dies, No Time to Die, and Dr. No. I have a lot with die in the title.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you win the award for the most dies, and you have 3 of them, right?
Yeah, Live and Let Die, Tomorrow Never Dies, and No Time to Die. I wasn't doing that on purpose. I mean, you stole some I was going to get, but I'm also happy with my list overall.
I have 2 with live in the titles.
Oh, yeah.
Too. I have Living Daylights and You Only Live Twice.
Yeah, we were on different themes, I guess. That's interesting. So, again, let us know in the comments, would you rather watch the Die movies or the living movies of James Bond?
Okay. I think we're both good. That was really fun to do. So we're moving on to our recast of the episode. And for this one, it's less of a recast than a cast, or just a regular cast. If they're, and it's not like we haven't done that before. We did that with Tony Hawk too, right?
Yeah. An imagined cast.
Yeah. If there were to be a biopic of either the Rolling Stones or just Mick Jagger himself, who would you pick to play Mick Jagger? Who would you pick to play Mick?
Yeah. And it is interesting that there hasn't been a biopic of the Rolling Stones or Mick Jagger.
I kind of thought that. There has to be one coming up at some point because they just did the Bob Dylan. They're doing the
Bruce Springsteen one.
The Bruce Springsteen. Well, by the time this comes out, that one's definitely out.
Yeah. But they've done Queen, the Freddie Mercury one.
Yeah. So we're in a big era of that kind of a thing, of these artists from this era.
Yeah. So it's bound to happen eventually. And if I'm casting Mick Jagger, my pick for Mick has to be Harry Styles.
We're the same.
That's your pick.
I picked
also?
the same. That was also my pick immediately when we came up with this idea to do this one. I was like, I know who it is.
Yeah.
We're lockstep, same page.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd pick him too, but like it was such an obvious pick to me. I feel like we talked about this in real life when One Direction started to become popular. I feel like, I'm sure not just us, but people in general are like, he looks like a young Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he's British. I mean, he doesn't have to do a fake accent, right?
Yeah.
And he can sing, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about One Direction to like know if they might have a similar singing voice, but yeah.
No, probably not. He probably sings more. It probably sings, more traditionally better than Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger is a very good rock singer, in the way that he can use his voice in a lot of different ways, but not like he's not like belting or doing the traditional, type of singing. And I think Harry Styles is a little more pop in that way.
For sure. And that might be good. I feel like maybe a traditional pop singer could put on like a rock
I'm sure.
persona easier than a Mick Jagger could like sing a traditional pop song.
Yeah.
So cool. This is the first time we've both chosen the same person for a fan cast.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Cool. Well, Hollywood, I hope you're listening because we haven't gotten this biopic yet. Put Harry Styles in it. Okay. Yeah. And that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to episode 7 of the Some Brothers podcast. And Happy New Year. We're still in between our seasons of Adaptation Station, but you can check out our Christmas bonus episode we just did on Mean Girls. And our regular top 5s are coming out, top 5 books and movies. So check out what we have there and stick around for some more fun videos and an upcoming season 5 of Adaptation Station. See you in the next one. Bye.